Cyberpunk 2077 and Cyberpunk Edgerunners, a legendary game and anime series that has brought the neon glow and dystopian technological landscapes to the palm of your hands and to your computer screen. Have you ever wondered where this game and series gets its inspiration from? In this episode, we will narrow down the movies, comics, and literature that helped mold this gaming and anime masterpiece. Follow me as I guide you through this journey. Let me welcome you to the Cyberpunk feed. Cyberpunk 2077 was developed by CD Projekt Red Studios. It's based on Mike Pondsmith's cyberpunk role-playing game franchise named Cyberpunk 2020 and Cyberpunk Red. Mike Pondsmith started consulting on the project in 2012. He also appears in it as a character in the game. Pondsmith's follow-up to Cyberpunk v 3.0, Cyberpunk Red, also made an impact on the lore. The Cyberpunk 2077 game and anime also drew its influences from the 1982 film Blade Runner. Blade Runner is a 1982 science fiction film directed by Ridley Scott, starring Harrison Ford, Rutger Hauer, Sean Young, and Edward James Olmos. This movie is an adaptation of Philip K. Dick's 1968 novel Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? Blade Runner is set in a dystopian future Los Angeles of 2019, in which synthetic humans known as replicants are bioengineered by the powerful Tyrrell Corporation to work at space colonies. When a fugitive group of advanced replicants led by Roy Batty escapes back to Earth, burnt-out cop Rick Deckard reluctantly agrees to hunt them down. The cyberpunk anime classic Ghost in the Shell had also a lot of influence in the making of the Cyberpunk 2077 franchise. Ghost in the Shell is a Japanese cyberpunk media franchise based on the seinen manga series of the same name, written and illustrated by Masamune Shirow. Told the story of the fictional counter-cyber terrorist organization Public Security Section 9, led by protagonist Major Motoko Kusanagi, and is set in mid-21st century Japan. In this post-cyberpunk iteration of a possible future, computer technology has advanced to the point that many members of the public possess cyberbrains, technology that allows them to interface their biological brain with various networks. The level of cyberization varies from simple minimal interfaces to almost complete replacement of the brain with cybernetic parts in cases of severe trauma. This can also be combined with various levels of prosthesis, with a full prosthetic body enabling a person to become a cyborg. The main character of Ghost in the Shell, Major Motoko Kusanagi, is such a cyborg, having had a terrible accident befall her as a child that ultimately required her to use a full-body prosthesis to house her cyberbrain. Video games such as 1994's System Shock also inspired its creation. System Shock is a 1994 first-person action-adventure video game developed by Looking Glass Technologies and published by Origin Systems. The game is set aboard a space station in a cyberpunk version of the year 2072. Assuming the role of a nameless security hacker, the player attempts to hinder the plans of a malevolent artificial intelligence called Shodan. System Shock's 3D engine, physics simulation, and complex gameplay have been cited as both innovative and influential. The developers sought to build on the emergent gameplay and immersive environments of their previous games, Ultima Underworld: The Stygian Abyss and Ultima Underworld 2: Labyrinth of Worlds, by streamlining their mechanics into a more integrated whole. Deus Ex is a 2000 action role-playing game developed by Ion Storm and published by Eidos Interactive. Set in a cyberpunk-themed dystopian world in the year 2052, the game follows J.C. Denton, an agent of the fictional agency United Nations Anti-Terrorist Coalition, UNATCO, who is given superhuman abilities by nanotechnology as he sets out to combat hostile forces in a world ravaged by inequality and a deadly plague. One of the most iconic characters from the Cyberpunk 2077 franchise is Johnny Silverhand. Frontman for Samurai, charismatic visionary, rebel with a cause, sworn enemy of corporations like Arasaka, and the mind behind the cult singles Chippin' In and Never Fade Away, currently hiding in V's brain as a digitized tenant. It is said that Mike Pondsmith's initial inspiration for the creation of Johnny Silverhand was actor and musician David Bowie and singer-songwriter Bryan Adams. It's also very likely that the Johnny Silverhand character and part of the development of the game may have had some inspiration from the 1995 cyberpunk thriller Johnny Mnemonic movie. The film stars Keanu Reeves and Dolph Lundgren. Keanu Reeves plays the title character, a man with a cybernetic brain implant designed to store information. The film portrays Gibson's dystopian view of the future, with the world dominated by megacorporations and with strong East Asian influences. The film is based on the story of the same name by William Gibson. William Ford Gibson is an American-Canadian speculative fiction writer and essayist widely credited with pioneering the science fiction subgenre of cyberpunk. Beginning his writing career in the late 1970s, his early works were noir near-future stories that explored the effects of technology, cybernetics, and computer networks on humans, a combination of low-life and high-tech, and helped to create an iconography for the information age before the ubiquity of the internet in the 1990s. Gibson coined the term cyberspace for wide-space interconnected digital technology in his short story Burning Chrome, 1982, and later popularized the concept in his acclaimed debut novel Neuromancer, 1984. These early works of Gibson's have been credited with renovating science fiction literature in the 1980s. So, what do you love about Cyberpunk 2077? Leave a comment down below and don't forget to subscribe for more theories and info. This is your host. Welcome to the Cypunk feed.